As we saw in the last section, if there isn't a process, there isn't design. A logo that hasn't passed through a project is a drawing, not a logo. If there isn't a reason or motive behind what you are creating, it's art. But what are the benefits of following a design process? It gives your design value. When you establish a design process that clearly defines objectives, you and your clients can assess the success of the project with a good degree of precision. Besides, this information is great to land new jobs in the future, as it demonstrates the importance and influence of your design process within the success of the company. At the end of the project, you can analyze the results and discover what can be done to improve future results, something hard to do if you don't follow a process. It helps present your work. By establishing and enabling to explain your process, you gain valuable tools necessary for more organized presentation of your work. Just by having a process, you are automatically enabled to justify the reasons behind your choices in the final project. As clients usually don't have any idea what designers have to go through or the level of difficulty involved, having a process gives context to your choices and explains how these choices reach the final objective. A classic example is when a client is presented with a logo and asks for a change in color. Most of the times, this decision is based merely on personal taste. When the designer has a clear objective and a well-defined process to reach it, the color will naturally be chosen based on these, and the change requested by your client can deviate your design from its final objective. By understanding your motivation and process, you will be less likely to ask for these superfluous changes. It keeps you organized and productive. How many times have you sat in front of a blank screen without the faintest clue on how to start a design? By having a design process, as long as it doesn't limit you too much, it will give you a starting point. Your design process should help you establish a context into where the design will be inserted. And although this may be what puts some designers off, it will also be the elements to define the success of your design. It establishes credibility and creates value. You see this every day, but you haven't noticed it. And this is how great design companies justify their expensive price tags. The process and implicit results are what attract their clients. And with time and fine-tuning, soon enough it is also what will put you ahead of your other fellow designers. Design processes. There's substantial amounts of disagreement between designers on how to produce design. Some authors argue that there are many ways of describing design processes and discuss two basic and fundamentally different ways, both of which have several names. The prevailing view has been called the rational model, or the reason-centric perspective. The alternative view has been called the action-centric model, or action-centric perspective. The rational model. The rational model is what many universities and courses focus on, as the methodology is more solid and comprehensible. Developed by Herbert A. Simon and expanded by Paul and Brights in their book Engineering Design Systematic Approach, this model posits that 1. Designers attempt to optimize the design candidate for known constraints and objectives. 2. The design process is plan-driven. 3. The design process is understood in terms of discrete sequence of stages. This model is based on a rationalist philosophy, according to which design is informed by research and knowledge in a predictable and controlled manner. Technical rationality is at the center of this process. Let's see an example of the stages in the rational model. Design pre-production includes a briefing, information analysis, research, problem specification, problem solution, and presenting design solutions. Design during production includes the development of the solution and field tests. Post-production, solution implementation, evaluation, and completion. Redesign that can be done before, during, or after production. As this is just an introductory course, I won't expand too much on how the rational process works, and I'll leave it for a future, more in-depth course. The action-centric model. It is pretty much the opposite of the rational model. It posits that 1. Designers use creativity and emotion to generate design candidates. 2. The design process is improvised. 3. No universal sequence of stages is apparent. Analysis, design, and implementation are contemporary and inextricably linked. This model is based on empiricist philosophy and amethodical development. Just like the rational model, the process relies on research and knowledge, but in this case, knowledge and research are brought to the process through the designer's better judgment and good sense. The designer's experience and professional judgment are more important than rational technicality. For being less intuitive than the rational model and rely heavily on professional experience, this process should be avoided by students and novice designers.